Hey guys, well, I guess it's afternoon. Yeah, we are at the National Cathedral and we're starting a little bitty hike heading down to the Apple store. I need a couple cables for my trip tonight, and also we can get some Rocklands on the way. So guys, I'm going to be on travel for the next probably 2 weeks or so, taking you to some interesting places around the world. But for now, let's just go get a barbecue chicken sandwich and go down to Georgetown. So over there on the other side of the road is the Alban Towers apartment complex. That was a famous place in the early 1900s. Lots of celebrities stayed there. Lots of visiting recording artists, movie stars, etc. would hang out there. And then a diplomat stayed there. His name was, Tamon Yamaguchi. Now, Tamon Yamaguchi was a Japanese naval officer who actually went to Princeton in the 1920s. He was very well-spoken English and Japanese. In about the 1930s, he went to the London Naval Conference, and then he was the naval attaché here at the Japanese embassy in Washington, D.C., around about the 1930s to 36. Hoover was convinced he was a spy. They tore his room apart several times inside the Alban Towers, and all they found was a perfectly clean building. Well, Tamon Yamaguchi eventually went back to Japan in the late 1930s and helped plan a little thing called Pearl Harbor. Yeah, he was one of the coordinators of the Pearl Harbor attack. And then he went on to command the Hiryu, a big aircraft carrier in the Imperial Japanese Navy. The Hiryu, as you may know or may not, was the absolute last carrier we sank in the Battle of Midway. We sank 4 carriers, and Tamon Yamaguchi was the captain of the Hiryu. And if you've seen the movie, he did go down with a ship. Anyway, interesting little side notes about these buildings in D.C. And pretty flowers over here, too. There's the Whole Foods. That's the digital Whole Foods, where you walk in and everything is monitored and you just get a bill later on your Amazon account. A couple restaurants. That brown one right there, that's called the Good Guys Club. And let me assure you, good guys do not go there. Who did go there were a lot of Russian KGB and FSB officers. They used to be followed by FBI agents, and the FBI agents were not allowed to go inside. You see, it's kind of an adult entertainment club. The Russians were spending wildly, lots of dollar bills. The American FBI agents were stuck outside in the cold, waiting for them to come out. It's kind of a daily routine back during the Cold War. Not sure if it still happens today. Probably. All right. Let's keep making our way down Glover Park, and then we'll enter Georgetown. All right, over on our right, behind this bus stop, that is the Russian Embassy up here on Mount Alto. This used to be a Veterans Administration hospital, but then they sold the whole thing, lock, stock, and smoking barrels, to the Russians. They turned it into a massive embassy overlooking all of D.C. Protesters love to come out here. Here's a picture of Navalny. This house, for example, has tons of Ukrainian flags. In fact, all the houses on this side of the street have Ukrainian colors. This house, however, it is widely believed that this is an FBI safe house used for FBI agents to monitor the comings and goings across the street at the Russian embassy. It's very rare you'll ever see anyone go in or out of this house, though I did read it's up for sale. Here you go, some more homes with Ukrainian flags proudly presented. They even have a big old fence down here that's been painted in the Ukrainian colors. Now, there are like traffic cameras here for giving us speeding tickets. I hate this one. But you notice above it there's a black camera? Yeah, that's not a traffic camera. In fact, if you look at a lot of the flagpoles, a lot of the light poles around here, there's a bunch of those cameras. We don't know exactly who is running those cameras, but pretty good guess it's probably the FBI. FBI is in charge of counterintelligence operations in D.C., so you see them around all the time. In fact, when the Ukraine battle first took place, if you walk past here, suddenly your Instagram ads would all come up in Russian saying, "Are you interested in defecting? Are you unhappy with the current state in Russia?" And this is all in Russian. It's kind of like, wow, that's a pretty weird ad to get. But then again, you got to remember the location. All right, let's keep going into Glover Park. I smell barbecue. Of course, you know where we're going. I'm not going to have this for a couple weeks. I've got to get something now. Oh yeah, pulled chicken barbecue. One last time before we head overseas. See, I told you, those weird cameras, they're pretty much everywhere in this neighborhood. And no, I don't think those are DC police cameras. I think it's somebody else. Okay, guys, we're in, well, North Georgetown, or Georgetown if you want. Look at that, cherry blossoms already blooming up here. Quite pretty. A lot of fancy little shops up here that I never shop at. I'm not posh enough, I guess. We've got to go all the way down to like Emma's and Mary Street. We're up at like Q Street right now, so quite a few more blocks to go. But it is kind of pretty. This is like a prom dress place. Never get enough prom dresses. Art. Contemporary Congolese art. That's what it said. Not classical Congolese art, but contemporary Congolese art. Oh, it's almost a mouthful. There's a place over there that sells Indian saris. I don't really know why. There's like not that much of a market, I would think, but maybe people like them. Maybe they go to like weddings or something. And there is a large Indian American community in Virginia. Lots of Indian weddings in the DC area. Alright, where are we at? Q. There's an ambulance over there. Probably nothing serious. They would have had a fire truck if it was serious. $4.69 a gallon. But you are in Georgetown, and well, you pay Georgetown prices. Most people go over the river. Oh, it's $4.79 a gallon on the other side of the street. Most people just go over the river and pay down about $1 less per gallon. Makes sense. That was the cop telling everybody to move. But the bus is blocking both lanes. Wow, it's windy here. Look at this. All these magnolia, tulip leaves, or whatever you want to call them, they've all sort of blown down. This tree has already been pruned in the wind. It's pretty though. Until next year. Alright, we're down deeper now. Antique shops, furniture shops, toy stores. Puppies.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
Little puppy. There's a little puppy in the way. We had to divert. Up on the left is the old Georgetown Theater. There haven't been movies there since I came to DC in the 80s. And even before that, it was closed as a theater. But the lights, they still light it up. It's now a coffee shop. And it reminds the tourists where they are and why they should be paying more money. Everything's more expensive. Bubble tea. Can never have enough bubble tea. Now, if you guys are looking for a good political movie to watch, Dave is a great political movie. Kevin Kline, Sigourney Weaver. And part of it took place right here in this building. Yeah, this building here was Dave's office. He was a headhunter for a job agency, and he had his office right here in Georgetown. They filmed it in this set, which is right across the street from Opia du Couchon, or the former Opia du Couchon, that building right there. That's where a Russian defector, he had defected to the United States, was having dinner with his FBI agents, said, "Excuse me, I have to go to the bathroom." And then he kicked out the window and ran back to the Russian embassy and redefected back to the Soviet Union. And not much was heard from him after that. So they used to have the booth, his last free dinner booth, they used to have a plaque. I think they've taken it out now. C'est la vie. We're almost where we need to be. Just another block or two. I think we're going to take a bike back. Maybe take a bus. Whichever's faster. going the wrong way. That's Martin's Tavern over there. That's supposedly where John F. Kennedy proposed and wrote his inaugural address. He did propose here. I'm not sure if he truly wrote the inaugural address here.
Don't you think they would have, like, restained them a little?
No, they're renovating, so it's closed right now. But you can ask to eat in the Kennedy booth, which is one of the famous booths. Wow, it smells like a Home Depot. All sorts of varnish and stain. So they restain the benches. Yeah, there's a Kennedy booth, the Eisenhower booth, the Truman booth. Many presidents have gone to Martin's Tavern for a drink or a dinner. And we're getting down to the heart of Georgetown, Wisconsin and M, just up ahead. There's the Apple Store. Next to the Vineyard Vines and the Ralph Lauren Polo. I mean, what's more Georgetown than that, yeah? This, however, is not very Georgetown. This is the largest Wawa on the East Coast, or at least it was when they opened it. The Wawa being like a Love's or a 7-Eleven. They don't have gas, though. Just snack foods, overpriced, and lots of them. Sugar, sugar, sugar. All right. Got to grab a couple cables here in the Apple Store, and then we're out of here. And we're back up to my neck of the woods. Okay, guys, as you can tell, we have interrupted our walk. We are now on a bike. That's because we just got a frantic phone call from one of the kids saying, "Dad, my bottom of my shoe just fell off. I can't walk." So I got to go buy him a new shoe before going to the airport. This is going to be an adventurous few hours. So up here, this is Dumbarton Oaks, an old mansion and a beautiful garden. It's perfectly manicured. Every spring you should come here. The trees all are in bloom, the flowers in bloom. It's just amazing. In the back they have something called Forsythia Hill. I've shown you in the last few years, but maybe if we off-road this bike, we can go take a look. Let's see. Yeah, let's try it. So we're cutting back behind Dumbarton Oaks. You can see the tulips are all blooming up there. There's some cherry blossoms back on this path that are already coming into bloom. And there's this massive hill in the back. Let's see if it's in bloom yet. It usually blooms before the cherry blossoms. But like I said, we're going to have to off-road to see it. No bicycle sign. Shoot. Let's just pretend we didn't see it. Well, if there's no one to give me a ticket, I guess it's okay. And guess what? The Forsythia Hill, it's in bloom, guys. You see all those yellow flowers up there on my left? Let's go park this bike and I'll take you a little closer. As close as I can without going in. There it is. Ugh. This is Forsythia Hill at Dumbarton Oaks. If you want to see this, you need to come out here probably this weekend. I don't know how long it'll last, but the sooner you get out here, the better. It's just absolutely beautiful, isn't it? Pretty amazing, isn't it? Let's go take some pictures with my phone. Okay. Got a notice from the bicycle company. You have entered a no parking zone. Oh well, such is life. I really do have to get home and buy this kid some shoes and then get to the airport. Nice little bridge, good for playing poo sticks. When I go race. Oh, clunk. All right, now, remember that giant downhill we went down to get here? Yeah, we got to make it up. But I think actually we can go over here to the left. It's dirt, but it'll work. It is bumpy. All right, yeah, this is pretty good. There's a scooter back here. This is a mix of crushed gravel and sawdust and tree chips. This will take us out to Massachusetts Avenue, which is then another gigantic hill, but it gets us where we want to go. Down there you can see the Rock Creek Parkway, already busy with Friday rush hour. And up on my left, that is the Italian embassy, just back through the trees. You can just sort of see it. And then the fence on my left over here, this is the Danish embassy and ambassador's residence. Denmark and Italy, right here side by side. And on the other side of the street is Polish ambassador's house, the Sri Lankan embassy, and Hillary Clinton. Yeah, Hillary and Bill Clinton Washington address is back up on that street. Okay, let's get on to some asphalt. That wasn't as bad as it could have been. Knock on wood. So on my left, that's the Brazilian ambassador's house. He's got all sorts of nice trees out in front. That is the former Iranian ambassador's house. He's gone now. We don't have diplomatic relations with Iran. So both his embassy, his house, and the embassy next door, they're empty. This is the Brazilian embassy on my left. And next to that is the Bolivian embassy. There's the Bolivians. And there's the South Africans on the right. And then everything up on the left is British. Good way.